Barbara Matsuura, and I came to Sedona in 2011. I had been looking for a place to live. We were going to leave Tokyo. I left New York in 1981 and moved to Tokyo and got married there. And so after many years and my husband's ready to retire, we thought, well, where should we live next? My husband looked on the internet, safe, slower pace, beautiful scenery, good air, and like this, and Sedona came up. And so here I was in Sedona, and I was going back and forth, but I thought, okay, universe, what do you want to tell me? And I start to walk the Chapel Trail, which is by the Chapel of the Holy Cross, which is a very special spot, I would say. There's many special spots, but for me it was an extra special spot. And I walk the land, and I have this rapport with the energies because I've trained in Qigong healing, and then you had to train in the forest, and so I can communicate with trees and land and rocks and sky and all of that. So I start to walk this trail, and I heard a voice, and it said, "This is a gate." And I said, "Oh, is it?" And I don't see anything, but okay, I trust you. And what do you want me to do? Well, go through the gate. I said, okay, I opened the gate and I went through. I said, okay, I'm on the other side of the gate. What do you want to tell me? And it said, you're in the first room of your heart. And I said, oh, really? What am I going to do here? And it said, you'll find out. Keep walking. And all through the walk, I went through 7 different gates and had 7 different experiences of my own heart. And when I got to the top, so I did this day after day after day because I had all this free time. And as you get up to the top, the vista opens out, and I had the experience of the vista opening out as well as the vista opening in. And it was not 2 different places, but it was one place. And that was the very essence of this trip I took with this daily walk. And so all well and good, that was amazing and not amazing. It's just really natural. And I said to the universe, well, what do you want me to do with this information? And it said, walk people through their hearts. I don't have abundant amount of people coming. I only have the people coming who are really going to benefit from it, which is interesting in the first place because we can only take the people with us who are willing to come along. And going to the different rooms of your heart, well, the first room of the heart is at the very shallow area, the very, top, and so are the second and third. It's like our 3-dimensional life. It's what we walk through every day. And then somewhere in that 3rd dimension, we get inspiration or intuitive messages, and there's more to this than just 3-dimensional living. Through the different rooms of the heart, there are certain things happening. For example, when you're in the 2nd room of the heart, there's the balance of yin and yang. So if we come from spirit and we come down onto the earth plane, 1 foot steps into yin and 1 into yang. And if you see that yin-yang mark, there's a shadow side, there's a bright side. And just with every human being, we have a shadow side and then we have our open side. And we have physically, the shadow side is the darker, mysterious side. This is the feminine energy. This is Mother Earth, nurturing and nourishing. And then we have the bright side, which is Father Sky. It is the spark of life. It is the fire. And Mother Earth is the water. And they come together at our center to balance us. And we come on to, this is my take, we come onto this earth plane to experience yin and yang. So when we do many yang-oriented things, like we're going and going and doing and doing and doing, then it can only turn to yin, because it gets so full that it can only turn to yin. And then we slow down and maybe we get a bit too lethargic and then it's going to change to yang. So it's continually changing. And if we know these things, we could say, oh, I get it, okay, we're going this way. So how do I remain on my balance? So you have the yin and the yang, and in the center is that line, and that's the balance. So if I stay there, then it's okay. So I'm on my balance, but always something will intrigue me and pull me off this way or pull me off that way. So if it pulls me off too far in one way, then I experience the fullness of it and I want to go the other way. And I can't stop it anyway, because the energy of this planet is the duality. And so that in the second room of our heart, we find, oh, what pulls me off so far that I suffer one way or the other? And what is my point? My point is to get back to my balance. Each room has its different qualities. And when we get to the sixth room of the heart, it's very deep. And by that time, we've walked deep into the mountain. So we've walked away from the three-dimensional world, and we've come into the different dimensions. And when we get to the sixth room of our heart, there's a fear that comes up. Can I go ahead and do this? So we look at it. I've made all these steps along the way. I've prepared all this way. Do I turn around and run back, or do I say, I got this, and go up to the peak? And so that is how people find their true, authentic self, the really essence of their heart energy. Now, of course, not the physical heart. We're talking about the emotional, or the heart-mind, as it's called in Asia. Then we find our true, authentic selves. We find trust. We find courage. And then we can go up to the top and have our epiphany, if you would. And all of the people, I can say all of the people that I've taken on this particular hike have experienced something very profound for themselves. Something so profound that has actually connected them with their own heart-mind energy. And they find the trust and the courage of who they are, and they understand that all the difficulties along the way were preparation for them to find themselves. I think these things that I do are all beautiful and enough. Humans can do the most amazing things. We can do the most amazing healings by actually inspiring the other person. It's not so much that with Qigong, we do manipulation. So we have to know the body, we have to tweak it, we have to know the body, and we can manipulate it to change it. But then if the person's mind is not changed, then it just goes right back. And so it's kind of, we have to do the healing and the education. So it's really that I can do some manipulation, but if you don't change your mind, you're going to have the same results.